It doesn't matter what you do. No matter what you do, if the Lord says that you succeed, you succeed. Because he was already dead. Then I cried out again and said, that's not the end. I said, seeing the Lord, how could this happen? It looks like in Nigeria with MKO and those that die in the course of seeking for power in the third world countries. That how could this be happening here again, having been the history? Which seems to also nullify the argument I shared with somebody earlier this morning that called me worried about Trump administration again, what it will bring for the future, the danger and what they have heard. And I told the person, don't be afraid. Do not worry about what they have told you and what the media have done, creating anxiety and depression all across our nation. In making people anxious, I'm afraid of their future. Yes, everybody is afraid of their future. I am concerned about the future and the things that has been going on. But I am not afraid because the Lord, his life, the life of President Trump, is in God's hands. President Trump was dead, but by the sacrifice of the blood, the sacrifice he was willing to make, knowing that his life is in danger, the Lord brought him back as a sacrificial lamb in order to see if our nation will be restored back, if the people will allow him to. And in that election, we saw how the people came. A dead man that came back alive was already and would have been dead if not for the life which belongs to God that was giving him a second chance to see. We have seen what the swamp in DC had done, whether it's in attempts on his life or the plots that we are hearing today and from the nations outside this country. A lot of interest. The hatred is not going to change. But should people still be registering as lobbyists in order to upend the will of the people and swap it with their own will and will of the organizations? Are you still going to go to war, even though the Lord has said no more wars? You shall not send our children to fight in a foreign war, but rather shall come to restore and replenish what has been taken and destroyed out of our country, so that our country and the people of this country can continue to enjoy the abundance of God's blessings and achieve the American dream that made them live and take all manners of risk to be in this country. It is a time to fix that which has been lost. All this money that is used to finance chaos around the world and destroy nations God had made, and remake their boundaries in the quest to conquer the world and make the world one village, one big place and one big planet, a place where some few people control the powers, rather than allow things to be in the way the Lord had made it, one nation and the foundations of which God had made, which they knew not, where it became divided and separated by the abundance of God's blessing. Is that something that we are going to enjoy? It is a choice for them to make, or whether they will want to continue. But as I had spoken, for those who use technologies in order to discriminate in the cancel culture that picks winners and losers, those that destroy our own people and our country and destroy their freedom and liberty, those that have continued to spy on the people of this country and use it to blackmail them, to harm them, those that engage in anathema and abominations and things that are condemned by God by taking away the gift and the God himself has given to them in inalienable rights that God has given unto the people of this country. All of you who are terrified of Trump, who are afraid, and who are anxious and depressed about the future of this country and what will be, do not be afraid anymore. And do not be afraid of Trump, because his life is in God's hands. And I know, like I knew in the first time in 2016 what my father had done, and I was aware of it, and even in my silence not to engage as the Lord had asked me to do. that what everybody needs to do is to put aside their sword and cheat their sword, the white and the blacks, and avoid and step away from this vengeance, malicious anger and bitterness towards each other, for you to think about the future. And if any one of you is thinking that Trump is going to follow through and to be able to engage in any of those things, you must think again. As you have already seen what the Lord had done, that even now, as the world is, you hear the voice of the people now after the election has taken place. Regardless of the race, regardless of the culture, regardless of the tribe and ethnicity, regardless of the economic status and everywhere, you have seen that the voice of the people have spoken, and so are the voices of the nations that have risen in harmony and in agreement that there is a need for reconciliation. In the beginning, Trump had the agenda, and then he deviated from the agenda and the command the Lord had given to him, and he was humbled and brought down. And when he rose again in defiance, and then he was reminded that his life belongs to the one that had given him the life. The air that he breathed belongs unto God, and he must do as the Lord had required that it be done in this nation and the nations of the earth. We shall rise together, to come together, to be one people and one nation under God indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you don't agree to that, the covenant that your ancestors had made with the Lord and the things that has been the sacred things and things that define the people of this country to be that different from the others, then you will watch to see, as it was prophesied, that this is a journey that lasts for 2 generations. You haven't even gone far away, and you shall watch and see. And as I have been commanded, that I shall no longer be speaking as I used to, and I have more of silence. But when I speak, you must watch and see. That as we all have seen today, just as it was prophesied, Trump will lose 2020 election told to him and to them and his associates because of the things that was happening at the time.